I stepped out of the ride-share and stood on the cracked sidewalk, the Dawson house looming ahead like it might disappear if I blinked. The salt air from the harbor clung to my coat, carrying the faint scent of the ocean and memories of a city that never felt quite like home anymore. Charleston had a way of making even winter smell like tides and old stories, but the Dawson place was eerily silent. No porch light, no hum from the fridge, no sign of life. I knocked, waited, and knocked again. Nothing. Locked, of course. For a fleeting second, I imagined kicking the door in, muscle memory loving a direct route, but the medic in me knew damage is easy. Repair takes work. Claire, a soft voice called across the street. Mrs. Howard, pushing a stroller with a napping dog, not a baby, appeared. Her hair had softened and gone white since last summer, but her eyes still held that familiar neighborly mix of affection and curiosity. "Hi, Mrs. Howard. Surprise visit." My smile felt stiff, brittle. "Oh, honey, they're not here." "Work?" I asked, glancing at the empty driveway and stuffed mail slot. "Vacation. Bali. Big trip. Looked fancy." Her words fell flat, hitting me harder than I expected. Bali. They left. And for 2 weeks, my grandfather, Henry Dawson, had been alone. The air pressed against my chest. I slid my hand into my pocket, finding my phone like a weapon. Tried calling my mom. Straight to voicemail. Ethan's phone? 2 rings, then dead. And their social media updates, their smiling faces in paradise, were the dagger twisting in my chest. I waved the rideshare back down. "St. Andrew's Medical Center, please." The driver didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. He knew the urgency in my uniform, in my stride, in my clenched jaw. The city slid past, live oaks and brick and glittering water blurring into one. But all I could see was a hospital hallway and a bed with the wrong person in it. They knew he was sick. And they left. Or never asked. Either way, I had my answer before reaching the first red light. I was done being a polite, walking paycheck. If my grandfather was fighting for his life alone, that ended now. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and exhaustion, a scent I knew too well from years of triage tents overseas. St. Andrew's wasn't massive, but every step echoed the anger I hadn't let out yet. At the front desk, a tired nurse looked up. "Can I help you?" "Henry Dawson. Room 417. I'm his granddaughter, Claire." Flashing my ID, I saw her eyes soften, but the hesitation remained. "You're the first family member to check in. No one's been by since admission." Her words sank into me like stones in water. "No one. Not my mother, not Ethan." Just silence. I followed the nurse down the cold hospital hallway, each step echoing louder than I expected. Machines beeped in distant rooms like mechanical hearts, indifferent to the life they measured. Room 417. My hand hovered on the doorframe. Inside, Grandpa Henry Dawson lay shrunken, tethered to tubes and monitors, the man I knew reduced to fragile silence. I pulled a chair close and sat, swallowing against the lump in my throat. "Hey, Grandpa. It's me, Claire. I'm here now." My voice cracked, but the rhythmic beep of the heart monitor answered back, steady, unjudging. I reached out, smoothing the unruly gray strands of hair from his forehead. That small gesture felt like rebellion, proof someone still cared. A nurse slipped in quietly. "You're his granddaughter?" she asked, eyes kind but wary. "Yes. Claire Dawson." She nodded. "He's stable, but critical." Severe heart failure with kidney complications. Sedated since admission. No one else has checked in. Her words hit harder than any battlefield. No one. Not Mom, not Ethan. Not a single call. I clenched his hand, feeling the fragile life beneath my palm. "You're not alone anymore," I whispered. "I've got you." That night, I tried again to call my mother and Ethan. 3 attempts. Twice. Nothing. Silence. Their vacations, their posts, their laughter on social media, all a lie while Grandpa fought for his life alone. The next morning, I sat in the hospital cafeteria, nursing burnt coffee. My thumb hovered over my mom's contact. But this time, I didn't hesitate. I hit video. The screen steadied on her sunlit face, Bali sparkling behind her like a screensaver. "Where are you?" "Grandpa's in ICU. He's been fighting alone for 2 weeks." My voice was flat, steel under anger. Her smile faltered. "Oh, he is?" Before she could recover, Ethan appeared, dripping from the ocean, shirtless, unconcerned. "Chill, Claire. Grandpa's dramatic, always exaggerates," he muttered. I stared. They drank cocktails while he battled death. Every injustice, every betrayal, ignited a fire in my chest. I opened my banking app. Flights, resorts, spa trips, all traced back to my deployment pay. "It ends now." My voice cut like glass as I froze their accounts. No more excuses, no more theft, no more abandonment. Mom's voice cracked. Ethan's phone clattered to the floor. They couldn't touch it. Not now. Not ever. I returned to Grandpa's room, the envelope of his legal documents heavy under my arm. Sitting beside him, I whispered, "They thought they could leave you. But they were wrong. I'm here, and I won't let them harm you again." And in that quiet room, something shifted. I wasn't just a granddaughter anymore. I was the guardian, the executor, the one armed with authority and fire. The war had changed. Now I had the ammunition. The winter air hit my face as I left the hospital, Grandpa's envelope tucked under my arm like a secret weapon. Each step toward the car felt purposeful, deliberate. I wasn't walking out as a bystander anymore. I was stepping into the role he had chosen for me. Adler's office waited, a brick building with ivy creeping along the sides, the crooked wooden sign reading Adler and Klein Attorneys at Law. Inside, the air smelled of leather and old coffee, grounding me. I placed the envelope on the desk. "Claire Dawson. I need to see Mr. Adler. It's about Henry Dawson." My voice was steady, but my hands trembled slightly from adrenaline and fury. Arthur Adler looked up, his sharp eyes meeting mine with recognition. "Claire, your grandfather spoke highly of you. I expected you." I laid out the documents, the power of attorney, healthcare proxy, all signed and notarized 11 weeks ago. Adler reviewed them carefully, nodding slowly. Airtight. No one else had standing, Mom, Ethan, no one. "It's time to activate them. Full authority over your grandfather's care and finances." My chest tightened. Relief and fury collided. Finally, the control was mine. The hospital, the banks, estate management, everything needed to recognize my authority immediately. Adler prepared the paperwork. If they fought, it would go public, to probate court. I didn't flinch. Bring it on. Within days, the summons came. Dawson versus Dawson. Charleston drizzled gray as I sat on the courthouse steps, files stacked like ammunition. Years in uniform had taught me one thing: preparation beats bravado every time. Inside, my mother, stepfather, and brother sat smugly across from me. But I wasn't the same. They had ignored calls, abandoned Grandpa, spent my money. Now, I had proof and the law on my side. Adler stood and presented the case: neglect, financial abuse, and breach of fiduciary duty. Receipts, bank transfers, journal entries, recordings, all laid bare the truth. Mom's lies, Ethan's entitlement, their betrayal, they couldn't hide now. I spoke calmly, yet every word cut sharp as a blade. Your Honor, my grandfather raised me. When he collapsed, they abandoned him. The first visitor was me. They didn't answer calls, didn't pay bills, ignored voicemails. The judge examined the evidence, then my family. Faces pale, excuses gone. Finally, the gavel struck. All authority rested with me. Accounts frozen, medical access revoked. They couldn't touch a thing. The weight of justice settled over me, yet a strange clarity replaced anger. I wasn't here to punish them, I was here to protect the man who trusted me most. Returning to Grandpa's room, I slid into the chair beside him. Machines hummed steadily. Tubes, wires, monitors, yet he was my anchor. I whispered, "It's done. They can't touch you anymore." I made sure of it. For the first time in weeks, the chaos outside the room didn't matter. I was in control. I was his shield. And nothing would compromise that again. The morning after the court victory, Charleston was quiet, gray drizzle clinging to the streets. I sat alone at Grandpa's kitchen table, the house faintly smelling of cedar and aftershave. The flag from his casket rested in a shadow box, sharp folds catching the morning light. I opened my laptop, staring at the documents that had shifted my life, full authority over Henry Dawson's estate, accounts, and home. The power felt heavy but not like a burden. It was armor, responsibility, a mission. Grandpa hadn't left me wealth to hoard. He left me tools, to protect, to fight for those abandoned. Within weeks, with Adler's guidance, I launched the Dawson Foundation for Veterans and Forgotten Seniors. Emergency aid, medical advocacy, housing support, for those left behind by family or circumstance. No grand press, no gala, just a quiet website, Grandpa's photo in uniform, a tagline honoring those who showed up when no one else did. The response was immediate. Retired nurses offered weekends, small business owners donated vans, letters poured in from strangers telling stories of abandonment eerily like mine. Grandfathers left alone. Parents failing. Veterans forgotten. Every story reinforced that my fight wasn't just personal, it was universal. I installed a memorial bench under the oak tree where Grandpa used to read the paper, brass plaque engraved, Henry Dawson, for those who never stopped showing up. One morning, an old Marine and his service dog sat there. Fresh flowers adorned the bench. Mom sent another email, family reconciliation, but I didn't open it. I returned to drafting the Foundation's first quarterly report. 3 clients supported already, a widowed Army nurse, a disabled veteran in Kentucky, and a Coast Guard mechanic whose benefits we restored. Every case mattered more than my family's excuses ever would. Walking barefoot through Grandpa's house at night, I touched the furniture he built, paused at a photo album, and found a faded note he wrote years ago: "If they ever try to make you feel guilty for doing the right thing, don't." It struck me, blood means nothing if paired with abandonment. Loyalty isn't inherited, it's chosen. My revenge had been quiet, subtle, effective. I didn't shout or slam doors, I protected, I empowered, I ensured justice. Sitting on the back steps, coffee in hand, sunlight stretching across the yard, I breathed fully for the first time in months. Grandpa was gone, yet his trust lived in me. And for the rest of my life, I would prove he hadn't been wrong. In that moment, I wasn't just a granddaughter. I was a guardian, a warrior, a protector, and his legacy lived on through every choice I made. If you love this story, hit that subscribe button and join our family of story lovers.